Hello everyone, welcome back to science classes. In my last module, I had discussed transportation in human beings. Now in this module, I am going to discuss about transportation in plants. So the learning objectives. After seeing this module, you will be able to know about transportation of water in plants, transportation of food in plants, and differences between transpiration and translocation. Let's start with the transportation of water in plants. Two type of transportation systems are there in the plants which occurs with the help of xylem and vessel. In plants, the water and minerals are absorbed mainly from the soil and then transported upward through specific tissue system called xylem. Similarly, the organic food which are synthesized in green leaves and the hormones which are synthesized in the stems and root tips are transported through spatial tissue called phloem. Thus, you can see roots gain water from soil here, and this water should reaches to the leaves because leaves will perform photosynthesis. So that for performing photosynthesis, this water should reaches to the leaves. So xylem helps in this process. After this, when leaves prepare the food, that food should reaches to the root, to stem, and to flowers, birds, so that plants are in need of phloem. Thus, xylem and phloem both helps in it. Xylem consists of four kinds of cells: tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fiber. Already in the previous classes you have done. The water and minerals are transported mainly through tracheids and vessels. The phloem is also a complex tissue. It is made up of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Thus, there are two kinds of transportation in plants. One which is occurred with the help of xylem, which is helpful for transportation of water and mineral, and the another one which is occurred with the help of phloem, which helps in the transportation of food and other substances. Now, how transportation of water and mineral takes place? There are three forces that move the water upward in the xylem. Many theories have been put to explain the upward movement of water. Most famous theory is root pressure theory. It is based on the ascent of set, means the upward movement of water and mineral. So according to root pressure theory, the roots absorb water. Here you can see roots are absorbing the water and exert a pressure. The root pressure which pushes the water upward. Because of this pressure, the water pushes in the upward direction. The root pressure theory is applicable only for the small herbs, not for the tall trees, because this pressure is not so sufficient which can push the water to the heights. Now the second one is the capillary action. It is a force that pushes water up the narrow xylem vessels. In the capillary action, we can understand this in this manner. The water and minerals are absorbed by land plants from the soil where it is present in the form of soil solution. The main water absorbing organs are root hairs. You know root hairs? Suppose these are roots. In roots, some small hairs you can see. These are known as root hairs. These root hairs are helpful in increasing the surface area of the roots so that more amount of water can be absorbed. So the main water absorbing organs are root hairs and the mineral absorbing organ are root epidermal cells. The water is absorbed actively by water potential difference between soil solution and root hair. So water molecules move from higher water concentration to lower water concentration. Thus, water moves through the root into the plant. Now, the next theory is transpiration pull. It is also known as cohesion tension theory. It explains the upward movement of water in tall trees. According to this theory, the main force responsible for upward movement of water is transpiration pull. It is generated in the leaves which pull the water column filled in the xylem tracheids and vessels, because as transpiration takes place from the leaves, so it creates a suction pump, so that it creates a column into the tracheids and vessels, so water move towards upside. It is just like a pumping system which pumps the water in the upward direction. Thus water moves into the plants. Now the next slide is about the movement of food into the plants. So transportation of food occurs with the help of phloem. Synthesis of carbohydrates, means sugar, and other metabolites occur in the leaves. The hormones required for the growth and development are mainly synthesized at the shoot and root tips. The carbohydrates synthesized in green cells of leaves, these are transported to non-green parts where they are needed, as each and every part is in need of food. So unlike water transport through xylem, the sugar and other metabolites are transported through phloem. The phloem elements remain in close contact with the mesophyll cells of the leaf. Soluble carbohydrates enter the phloem elements from mesophyll cell of the leaf. Here you can see in the leaf mesophyll cells are found, and phloem elements are in the close contact of these mesophyll cells. So once the food molecules enter into the phloem, they are transported upward, downward, and lateral directions, because each and every part is in need of food. If you have noticed that in xylem the movement occurs only in the single direction, upward direction, because water movement occurs from roots, but through phloem the food movement occurs in all the direction. It is multi-directional flow. Such a transport of food from leaves to other parts of the plant is termed as translocation, and the movement of water through xylem is known as transpiration. So basically we can conclude this, that water and minerals are transported in the plants with the help of xylem. This process is known as transportation of water, and the movement of food occurs with the help of phloem. This process is known as translocation. Now a quick recap. This worksheet is based on the complete transportation system in human beings as well as in plants. So the questions are: differentiate arteries and veins. Arteries are Arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery, if you remember, and veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. In veins, walls are found which stop the backflow of the blood. Arteries are thicker, more muscular in comparison to veins because they receive the blood from the heart. So these are some basic differences between arteries and veins. Why double circulatory system is needed in human beings? As we human beings are warm blooded animal, so we are in need of much more amount of energy so that we can regulate our body temperature with the environment. So double circulatory system is needed so that oxygenated and deoxygenated blood will not get mixed and efficient supply of oxygen may be there. Just like in human beings, aves also need double circulatory system. Now the third question is, name two liquids which help in the transport of substances in the human body. These two liquids are blood and lymph. Now the fourth is, state the role of xylem and phloem in transportation system of plants. Just now we have discussed xylem helps in the transportation of water and mineral, and phloem helps in the transportation of food, hormones, etc. We can differentiate xylem and phloem. This is also a very important question. Differentiate xylem and phloem. So through xylem unidirectional flow occurs, through phloem multidirectional flow occurs. Xylem helps in the transportation of water, phloem helps in the transportation of food. The transportation by food is transportation by phloem is known as translocation. The next question is same. Define translocation. Translocation is the movement of food material through phloem in the plant. That's all for this module. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video.